How are we all doing? We hope you're keeping well out there tonight. Let me just organise stuff here a little bit better. The place is in a complete mess altogether because instead of tidying up and stuff that I should have been doing, I was making test equipment that I don't really need. Does that make sense? Probably not, but it makes sense to me here. No point wasting electricity. Now, we hope you're all keeping well out there. We've one person watching. Is there anyone else watching? Seven people watching. People are logging on. I'll just give it a few minutes before I start talking. No point talking to myself. Fix the top chat to the live chat so we know what's going on. We've got 3 likes. We've got 4 likes already. We're doing well. Great stuff. Leslie Diamond here. Roundy's here. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to give it another couple of minutes. Just wait till the numbers come up another little bit. And then I'll start talking. Because I've lots to say. And I've nothing to say at the same time. Kev B. CNP 192. Is that what I have? We might want a CNP 192. Does your one roundy have 7 channel buttons on it? If so, my one's the exact same as yours. 9 people watching. Mark Dunstan. Hello, Mark. How are you? I hope you're keeping well. Don't mind the old filthy jumper. It's all I had. I forgot the white coats in the house, and then I ran out of time. We didn't have time to get it. Yes. Well, then, it's the exact same set. I can't remember the model number off the top of my head, but I seem to remember mine is a CMP 192. But if you look through my extensive library on vintage televisions, you'll see I made a video or 2 about it years ago. Cracking television. I know you said your one, that CRT is a little bit weak in it. And it was and that's probably because the heater standby feature was used on it, and that used to knacker them. Kev, the parcel didn't arrive yet, unfortunately. We're waiting here. Mrs. Aldridge is waiting with bated breath when I'm in school. But nothing's happening too quick with the old B word anyway. So I wouldn't be concerned yet. Balls of a thing poisons the cat out. Yes, and I was lucky with the one that I have. And you know, as you've probably seen in the short video I made over a while ago, it has a very good CRT in it. But that's only down to the fact that the old dear that owned it never used the button on the front, always on the side, and always plugged it out at night too. So that standby nonsense feature was never used. So my one has a good CRT. We're doing well to get one of those tubes too, because they've a low focus voltage. They're an oddball tube. But if I hear one knocking around, I'll keep you in mind, Mr. Mooney. Guess what I'm doing? Oh. We're on the tenants tonight. 2 cans of tenants. Try a soft rejuvenation on it. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything too haywire. I wouldn't overrun the heaters on it either. I think that'd be a poor move. So today, last night, you'll remember I was talking about ESR meters, and I put links in the chat last night. And today, I knocked one up using that circuit that I made, that I showed. So that video is going to be going up tomorrow. Now, I don't go into any great detail about it because all the detail you need to know was in the link. But I'm quite impressed with how a little thing with 2 transistors works. So it's been a good day out, and it worked first time, which is unusual for anything that I construct here. Wayne Sharp is impressed with my Avo on the shelf. Yeah, only one. Well, actually, there's several. several. So that's a Mark 5 there, right, Mark? Mark 5. What's that in there? That I think is a Mark 2. Or a Mark 3. No, that's a Mark 3. I have a Mark 2 somewhere as well. That's a bit sad. This is another Mark 5. And there's probably more of them hiding around here somewhere. They sleep during the day, but when I go into the house at night, they scurry around and act a maggot. You could drive a bus over it. Yeah, you could. Oh, I want to make a few more videos like that. They're a bit of fun. Cheers, everyone. I have to say, there's nothing like a can of Tennent's. Mighty stuff. Has anyone got a circuit for the Rigonda VL100 and Rigonda Fiesta? I don't. I'm going to say what I always say to situations like this. Try and want it on the UK Vintage Radio Forum. They always come up trumps. Please kill a few more shitty turntables. Where was I looking at one a while ago and I was going to give it the same treatment? Yeah, it's a bit cold to be at that crack now, but give it the spring and we might do a bit more of that. The little Chinese ones aren't bad either. ESR meters. Yeah, but what I'd say is, well, I like analog dials. I have a Chinese ESR meter here that was given by a chap a couple of years ago. Well, it was more of a swap than a gift. I gave him a couple of valves. Look, Jesus. I need to do something with the settings on my YouTube. I think they're a bit strict because Kevin B can't say shit. This doofer. It's an MESR 100 ESR meter. My opinion of this is it's alright. I wouldn't be mental about it either. I never use it. That's it. Initializing. Does work. A little bit slow. But, you know. It is what it is. I think they're about 35 or 40 quid. Of course, the one that I really like, and I keep showing this on the channel, but I always come back to this. The capacitor wizard. Now, these are there. And I was talking to a chap on the phone today. I'll tell you who I was talking to. I was talking to George Johnson today on the phone. That mighty man from Athlone. And he was telling me that these could be going for anywhere up to $350 now. The good thing about these over every other ESR meter you will come across is this. You don't need to be looking at it to know that you've got a pass. So when we were doing flat panel power supplies back in the day, when they were known for having loads of bad caps, you could put the ESR meter there, have your flat panel in front of you, face down, and just whiz across all the caps without even having to look at it to find a bad one. So that's where this thing came into its own, and that must have saved thousands of hours. But because before John got his hands on this, it was take the cap out, put it across the Avo. What sort of a flick do you get on the meter? Is it charging up? And, you know, it was slow going. So we got that around 97. And it survived the fire in the shop. It's seeing fire and rain because it got roasted and then it got drowned by the fire brigade. Shanga was all about his Cap Wizard, but they're not cheap. No. That one was around $160 or $170 back in 97. So, yeah, they're not cheap. But I think they're worth the money. But what I would say, if you're going to buy one, get the added protection board as well, because I know a couple of people who have them and they're ornaments on a shelf now because they're blowing the bollocks out. There's a few snazzy chips in them or something. And if you put them across a charged up cap, it's goodbye. So do, if you are going to order one of those, get the protection, spend the extra couple of quid and get the protection board. Although I'm sure you could make up some sort of a protection board yourself with a few diodes or something. That's what this has. There's a few back-to-back 1 and 4148s. So, as I say, there'll be a video about that at some stage. Cap Wizard is $190. Alright, well, I haven't gone up that much then. Of course, then again, by the time you get it shipped over here, the nice taxman takes his lump out. It's going to be a bit more. So, if you were flying over there, that'd be the time to get it. But I would recommend it. Now, obviously, if you're in a shed pricking around like this, it's not really worth your while. Like, I was able to put this together today. I had everything I needed to put this together. And it does seem to work, okay? So, I suppose I could give a short demonstration over here. Without going too hectic. As I say, there's a video coming out on it. Probably bang it up tomorrow. Which I'm happy about because it's the first video that I've made in a long time. A couple of weeks. So, how will I do this? This camera isn't really made for this nonsense either. So, can't even see that. I think better cameras are going to have to be on the list. Anyway, blurry and shitty, but there she is, full scale and zeroed. Here it is, a 10 microfarad cap, which reads about what you'd expect, about 3 ohms ESR. And then if I put something like a 220 across it, 220 microfarads. And I actually found out today that my Cap Wizard is out of calibration a bit. Now, I'm not surprised by that from the life that it's had. There's a 220, and that's reading about 0.1 ohms ESR. So, doing the trick. Yeah, I think a slightly better camera system here could be order of the day. So, I might make up a bit of a scale for it if I get really into it. It's probably not something I'm going to use a whole lot because I have the Cap Wizard, obviously. But just, I always wanted to make one of these, and I was going to make that actual circuit a couple of years ago. And the reason why I got really enthused was that post on the UK Vintage Radio Forum by Dave_N_T. And he was quite happy with the performance of the circuit, so I just said I'll bite the bullet and stick it together. So, a couple of hours this afternoon. Chris, all the gear, no idea is here. Good evening, Chris. Good to have you aboard, and it's good to see you making videos again, Chris. I was trying to keep up with the old chat, so you will forgive me. Kev B tells me he had a bit of an accident on Friday. Plugged the games console in. It turned out to be a 120. Oh no. Shit. Well, we've had days like them, alright. Wayne Sharp tells me he often works with Irish G4S engineers on fire alarm systems. Very good. Mooney says a GoPro for live streaming, Mr. Mooney. We need more people like you in Ireland. I'm a shortwave listener in Dublin, have expensive radios. Anything goes wrong, nothing I can do. Send them to England is too expensive. Yeah, I can understand that. Chris is making the odd video, but he's busy at work. Yeah, we discussed that, Chris, at the old Goblin. Chris is a busy man. Can we see the AR-88? No. AR-88 is over in the container. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to fly George Christophe over to lift it up on the bench for me. The AR-88 is going to be something that's going to be down the road. There's a lot of shit ahead of that. What I will say though is I just had a look underneath it. Someone has done a bit of work and it sort of looks like it had a bit of a revamp in the 60s. Nothing too clean or special, but it's probably a goer. They look a lot easier to work on than the likes of an AR or a CR100. Space doesn't seem to be an issue on them for getting in at stuff. So you should be able to get it going, alright. Which you will say for a fiver, I couldn't leave it there for a fiver, especially I had a feeling I knew what was going to happen to it next. So did I have the tools inside? No, they're long gone. Yeah, I have a CR100 here that I started revamping years ago, but I had the coil box out. I'm going to put it back together. I must have mixed up a couple of words or something, but I couldn't get it to oscillate. So I kind of lost interest. It's lying under the bench, tucked away. I will have a go at it again at some stage. I actually have 3 CR100s now. I have another one that's in unrestored but semi-working condition. I can't run it like that, as you know, with the caps in it. They're super leaky. Kev B says a fiver. Yeah, a fiver. A fiver for the AR-88 and a fiver for the CR100. So I said I'll take them. So at the very end of the day, I reversed the van up to the door. And George Christophe picked up the AR-88 like it was a packet of crisps and tossed it into the back of the van. You nearly broke the springs in the back of my van. Miles to the gallon went up a bit on the way home. Or down, I should say. Simon Hanlon comments. I found an HRO NX in my dad's workshop last month, not being plugged in since the 60s. Wound it up in the Variac and it still works. Oh yes. I was definitely taking it home. Well, everyone kept saying to me, you're going to be bringing them home with you. And I think it was like subliminal messaging or something like that, you know. So fucking things ended up in the back of the van anyway. I needed them I needed an AR-88 like a hole in the head, to be honest with you. But what I'm going to do here is in the summer, and we've discussed this with Mrs. Aldridge, and I've discussed it here, and we're going to make, I'm probably just going to buy at this stage instead of build it, but we're going to get a shed, something around 6x10 or so, and I'm going to put on my listening radios into this shed, and the purpose of this shed will be only for as a listening pub. So I'll put in me HF rig there and me 2-meter rig, and I'm going to put in all my communications receivers, me Eddistones, and that AR-88 will hopefully end up in there as well, with a CR100 or 2 and a few other bits. But the idea of the shed is it's only to be used as a listening shed, you know, as a shack, and nothing can go into the shed unless it's working, right? And I'm gonna rack mount and aerial switches and stuff, so be able to switch in different receivers and shit like that. So that should be good. Oh, you're right. Northern Ramblers in the chat too. Kev B had AR-88. Cool. You have to compartmentalise, no doubt about it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree with that. Roundy. What have we got here? We've got 19 people watching us. Is that correct? 19 people in the old chat box. With 16 likes, so someone's acting a maggot. Do hit the thumbs up button if you can. I'll need a forklift. Yeah. Let me just go into Windows here and expand it a bit so I can see the live chat a bit better. 150% zoomed in on the windows. Yeah, now I can see the chat a lot better. I'm going to get a slightly bigger, of a 22-inch, is it? 22-inch monitor. I want to get a slightly larger monitor for us behind the camera so I can see it a bit easier. Let me see where I am. I'm probably missing a few comments here. 21 watching now. They all heard you, JJ. Oh! Great stuff. Jenny just noticed he was on sub. Now that's funny. I noticed that on my personal YouTube page or whatever I watch shit on, I've noticed that I was missing a couple of people, and then I realised that I was unsubscribed, but I hadn't unsubscribed. I just hadn't watched them in a while, but I think YouTube's been acting the bollocks again. I've found that YouTube has actually they've done a lot of stuff, updating features and stuff, especially on the mobile studio app, which I would use quite a bit. And I've found that it's quite glitchy at the minute. Half the features aren't working on it the way they should. So, I'm not overly impressed by that. Now, Roundy Mooney said, I was offered an AR-88 but didn't want to drive to Dublin for it. I should have. You probably should have, alright. I seen it. I remember a couple of years ago I had a similar situation though, where an Eddystone, I think it was an 880 or something like that, snazzy communications receiver, came up for sale down your neck of the woods. And I saw it was on adverts. I didn't do anything about it, and then it was gone, and then I kind of regretted not doing anything about it. Well, I've probably got more Eddystones than any one man needs at this stage. I tell you, whoever invented the wireless mouse was a genius. Yeah, and I noticed that too as well, Jerry, in the sense that my subscriber numbers will be going up. They sort of go up at an average rate unless a video really takes traction. So the video that I did with Michael Dranfield a couple of weeks ago, that during last week, last Wednesday, I think, just gained traction now. An hour, I got like 300 or 400 views within a couple of hours. And that gained me 17 subscribers, believe it or not. YouTube's weird. But I do notice sometimes that, my subscriber count will drop by 5 or 6, like that, for no real reason. So I take that YouTube is just unsubscribing me automatically. Kev B has a Fluke Pat tester for sale. Let's pin this. Good man. Kev, if someone needs a Fluke Pat tester, get in touch with Kev. Kev, if you want to, you can feel free to stick in your company's web address or whatever it is so that people can get in touch with you. And I will pin it to the top of the chat if that's of any use to you. Gout in your ankle, that never sounds good. Now watch that. Mounty, thank you very much for that offer. I'll keep you in mind because, funny enough, the Rebel County seems to have a lot of interesting things in it. I think Roundy Mounty is probably getting very good at the Tetris now at this stage as well. I do a lot of that. Electronics Tetris, television this way. A couple of VCR players this way. Oscilloscope that way, There. What did I find out today? Oh, yeah. When I wanted to figure out what sort of current my new ESR meter was drawing, the first meter I put my hand on the bench was my Fluke 28 Mark II. And I set it to the amps range, and the milliamps range, right? And nothing was happening. And I was a bit concerned. Anyway, after a lot of wasted time fluting around, the penny dropped. I never used the current range on this since I bought it. Fucking fuse is gone. 440 milliamp fuse. I might be able to get one on work. But I was a bit disappointed by that. I now have 2 rows of shelves in a 12-foot by 8-foot shed and all full. You need a bigger shed. 440 milliamp, I think. Isn't that right, Kev? Kev knows off the top of his head. There's two fuses in a Fluke. A 440 and an 11 amp, I think, is the big one. Yeah, 440. I know that because I had to buy one myself. It's a mistake you only make once. I did it with the 83 years ago. And when you have to pay for the bastard, it's a mistake you do once. Yeah, definitely. It's an AliExpress fuse that's in it, but sure, it's good enough. I'm not going to be doing that in haywire up poles or anything with it. Bigger kids. Well, I hope those kids are going to get out quick. Great. Don't forget you can always convert the attic as well. I can't remember what price that was, Kevin. Was being quoted? I thought they were more expensive than that even. Oh, he did. The attic is converted as well. Oh, well, them roundy were in trouble. I don't know what to do with you, so. Buy a caravan. Park it in the driveway, and take everything out and use that as storage as well. couple of caravans, although your neighbours might get very concerned very quickly. "19 people watching. Nothing too matter to carry on here. And noticing there's a few names missing tonight that usually pop up in the chat. Although there was no notice, although I do sometimes put a Sunday night live out. But shipping container on the drive. I have a shipping container. I'm talking to myself here. I have a shipping container, 20-foot shipping container. I've had no problems with it. Doesn't get damp or anything like that. I was told, do not under any circumstances get a shipping container. But I've had no problems with it so far. Well, Ray, I don't know. Mrs. Osborne's job, we said if I took up stamp collecting, it mightn't be so bad. Well, a friend of mine collects buses, so you can imagine how much space that takes up. So I'm not too bad. I always say to her, I could be like my friend with a heap of buses, you know? At least the television's only this size. She also thinks life would be better if I only collected these little television sets. A little Casio and little pocket LCD sets. I have to laugh when I look at these. Jesus, weren't they absolute shit? But yeah, anytime your better half makes notions about complaining about your collection or hobby, just always have, surely one of your friends somewhere has a worse selection. Always remind them. Things could be worse. A 650 in the attic. How did he get it up there? Did he assemble it in the attic? Remember there was a lad on Top Gear years ago who built a car in his inside the house in the sitting room, and he had to knock out the front wall to get the car out. Model railways. Well, funny enough, my friend who has the buses also has a huge model railway. But he hasn't put it together yet. But he has all the stuff. I think that's a retirement project for him. Just madness, like. Well, I love that idea around you. I like the sound of that, I must say. Sony Pocket TVs. Do I have any Sony Pocket TVs? I don't think I have any Sony ones. No. I do have a few of the Citizen ones as well, alright. We do have supportive partners around it. We are lucky. I know fellas that are tied to some that aren't so supportive. Years ago, friend wanted an extension for his arcade machines and the neighbours blocked his planning permission. So we got a shipping container instead. Good man. I'd never get that with people, because often the time will come when they will want to do something as well. That's when you give them a kick in the bollocks, I'm always, of the opinion of live and let live, These serial objectors who just love finding problems with you. Roundy Mooney, one of my late mentors rebuilt a Harley in his living room. My outfit was shit like that. He's in the motorbikes. He also bought a brand new Peugeot in the mid-70s, drove it home, didn't take to it and left it there until he died. His son recently moved it on to be recommissioned. That's nuts. That's class. Well, there's that bloke in Drummond who has a rail train station complete with trains and buses, etc. Yeah, I know of Drummond. I'm meaning to get down there. Thought I'd get down there this summer, but it didn't happen. But I'll get down there next year. I know a couple of the heads that are involved with that. Well, no, they've been passing, if you know what I mean. Problem with Drummond is everything's out in the open. It's not good. There's a 707 cockpit down there that lights up and does shit. Yeah, they're just being nasty, and now they have a big eyesore instead of a nice building. Yep. Good man, underscore. Good to have you aboard. Snow on the roads here. Drove 7 hours, long day. Good man. Leitrim, that's right. Was the Cavan and Leitrim Railway, wasn't it? And an old darky bus, yeah, there was a bit of that gear down there, alright. I think there's an E down there. A C. There's a Gardner, a GNR Gardner bus down there as well. And a few other bits and pieces. But yeah, can't leave that shit out in the open long term. Old timber bodies, you know, they don't like it. I think another trip to the north is coming. For more tenants. Was a post on the UK Vintage Radio about a full-size cockpit for auction. That's pretty impressive. How much? I know there's a video on YouTube of a fella that got a... Was it a Trident cockpit? And he turned it into a full flight sim. The weekends go by fast, alright, man. That's for sure. They're doing dead. It's admirable dedication, but I don't get it. Then again, they probably don't get us either. Probably not. Need to run a poll to see who wants a 5-day weekend with 2 play days. Right, there's no point running polls like that because we know the answer. Now, what I'd be into now is a compressed working week, right? 3 12-hour days, 36 hours, right? Monday, say, actually no, feck it, say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's the working week. 3 days, 12 hours, 36-hour week. Hammer that out with 4 days off. Now that'd be the life. I can go in for a bit of that. That's the way forward. Simon, you need to get another job, pal. Unless they pay you really well. Try that in the ESB. 4-day week, 2 10s, and a 9. Everyone wanted to work overtime on the Friday. Head cases. Head cases, Roundy. Wouldn't have happened in CIE. Out the gap. 12-hour shifts get to be a pain after a while. Yep, they do. I do 12-hour shifts at the minute. Sorry, 310s. Yeah, 310s and a 9. Or 310s. Yeah, 39-hour week. I don't know. I'd rather do the 412 or the 312s than the 310s is a bit of an arse, actually. No. Sod's Law says the faults always happen at 4 o'clock on a Friday. Yeah, but you're out the gap. You know what I mean? We'll leave the lamp off till Monday at 9. Absolutely. Our link's allowed in the chat. Go for the Kev. If your link doesn't come up, either me or Roundy should be able to okay it, unless it gets stuck in the filter, which I have no control over. If I could do, I'd blitz Monday, Tuesday, and take the rest of the week. Doesn't work that way, I don't know. It doesn't. I hate every minute of work. Shit, my own the company. Shit. Give a job, will you? Was driving to Norwich and back every day last week. That's 3. Fuck. That's a good spin, alright. Sent it twice, must be getting blocked. Alright, Kev, what I'll do is, I'll make you, now, this isn't going to be permanent, alright? I can make you a moderator. Right? Send your link, and then I'll undo you as a moderator. If I can. Right. You're now a moderator, Kevin, so you can send your link, and then I will unmoderate you then, alright? Let me know if that worked or not. You might have to refresh the chat or do something for that to kick in. There we go. Let me pin that. Right, that's pinned. We will remove moderator. Kev B is no longer the moderator. Right. There you go, Kev. Your link is up. That worked out quite well. Thanks, Kevin. 9:45. I don't know if we'll knock off quite bang on the 10 o'clock. We can probably roll her on for a little bit further. We shall see. Although we do have an action-packed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then an action-packed back in work Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So, not getting much time these days. Good evening, Mr. King. I hope you're keeping well too. And John Swan John, which is probably John Swan. How are you? I haven't seen you there either. We're nearly into silly season now. Yeah, it's being discussed. When am I putting up the lights in the workshop? As you know, I put up my nice coloury vintage Christmas tree lights this time of year. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go near it till it'll be at least the 10th of December, I think, before I start that shit. Joe King, I told you I would dig out some sort of doofer for you. And of course, I've gotten as far as absolutely not bothering me bollocks yet for you. Just in the interest of honesty. But we will, alright? I don't want to be holding you up on that project either. Silly season. Fine Gael. That sounds like politics, Jerry. You know the rule on politics here. We are apolitical here. We could always start up the second channel if we wanted that, but there's plenty of forums already for that. I just hate politics so much, it's not even funny. The only good one is a dead one. All the gear says, I also drive to Norwich regularly from Sheffield. It's a long drive, stuck behind a tractor. I'd say it is alright. Rooney says, that's done, I'd say. At Jerry, BVR silly season is functions and visits to people we don't see all year in the thick of it at the minute. Oh, yeah, that's what it is, alright. I treat them all with equal content, yeah. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. I wouldn't waste the petrol going down. Chris is going to visit the Science Museum in London next week. I hope. What I'm going to say to you is, Chris, on this, the Science Museum, I've discussed it here before. I went to London for a week in the summer of August 2010. And because I wanted to see the V&A, I wanted to see the Imperial War, I wanted to see the Science Museum, I wanted to do the LT Museum, and a few other bits and pieces. So I had my week planned out, contingency plan. This is on my own back in these days. Went over, stayed in a place in Wembley. Used to get the tube now. Great place to get around. Science Museum. Got up on the Tuesday morning. Got to the Science Museum for 9 o'clock in the morning. And I spent the whole day going around. I didn't leave till 5 o'clock. And it was fascinating. So, just before COVID, I had reason to be in London with work. I was collecting a bus with a friend of mine. We were collecting 2 buses that he was after buying. I was driving one, he was driving the other. And I had a whole spare day in, I think it is, it's Kensington, is it? Where the Science Museum is. I was staying in a Holiday Inn or some fucking thing there. So I decided I would relive memories and go around to the Science Museum. I went in, and where I had took me the 8 or 9 hours or whatever to get around the last time, I did it in 4. Actually, I did it in less. I think I did it in 2 or 3. What they've done with the Science Museum since I was there in 2010 is they have taken half the exhibits out and replaced them with fresh air. And they've gone into all this interactive nonsense for kids. And the whole thing has been dumbed down. There's still interesting things to see, but it's not the same as it was, unfortunately. Yeah, Rowney Mooney's obviously been there twice as well. So that's what I'd say to you, Chris. Don't be disappointed. But it's still, look, where I put the whole day away before for it, I'd stick 2 hours or maybe 2.5 hours away to go in there. But I do wish you all the best. A signalling engineer is our Chris. My father was a train driver for British Rail. He was in BR for 40 years or so. He was one of the last men in the UK to be trained up as a steam driver. And that would have been in, I don't know, the late 70s or early 80s. And you're going to say to me, but steam was long gone then. And it was for British Rail. But the National Coal Board still had steam engines. And that's who he was working for. I think British Rail supplied the drivers to the NCB, and he was based out of a place called Sino, Colville, Leicester. So that's his claim to fame. Back at Amazon, BHX2 tomorrow. I got work at loads of Amazons installing Vesda units. That means nothing to me, Wayne. You're going to have to break that down for me just a little bit. I don't know what Vesda unit is. Still, go there and see, yeah, do it, yeah. And of course, all these places are sort of close to one another. The Natural History Museum was the one that I didn't get to. Makes sense that the coal board would use staying. Well, it's interesting. There's stories about Sino. It became a sort of a mecca for train anoraks in the 80s. Because the governor over the Sino coal yard liked steam. And they had, I think they had 2 steam engines and a Deltec. And he used to get the mechanic lads to do unmentionable things to the Deltec to make it not work. So they had no choice but to use the steam. Apparently they were still steaming up there in 80. My mother remembers going down there for a sort of an open day, and they had one of them steamed up in 88, and it was shunting around the yard. Kev B says he's at Liverpool Airport on Tuesday fixing a plane mover. Uses wheelchair motor controller. That's interesting. Oh, okay, they're air monitors. Very good. They name Amazon locations after airports. So we need to figure out where BH. What's BHX then? Is that Birmingham or something? I don't know. Chris, it's been good hearing from you, and it's good to see you in the chat, and it's good to see you making YouTube videos again. For anyone who doesn't know here that's watching, all 23 of you, Chris is a YouTuber as well, and he makes very good, in-depth videos. He likes to say he's no idea, but I think you'll find that he absolutely knows everything that he's talking about. So, have a good night, Chris, and we'll see you again soon. And it was great talking to you at the Goblin as well, by the way. Hopefully we'll meet up at the NVCF. Wayne Sharp says, basically red pipes are installed around the building with holes that suck air in. If it sees smoke in it, it sets the fire alarm system off. Ah, okay. Yes, Birmingham, although it is in Leicester. What's the other one that's there? East Midlands Airport as well will be probably closer in Leicester than Birmingham. Every day is a school day. It sure is. EMA 1. All right. Okay. Oh, that's gas, all right. So I suppose Amazon over here will be DUB 1 then, would it? Oh, Conway says the EIDW. It could be EIDW as well, yeah. The The Deltecs were totally unreliable from day one and often had to be told by staying. They didn't last any length of time in service. Not sure, but it makes sense yet. No, I think Rowney probably has it there. What time is it? It's nearly 10 o'clock. Ash will roll on for another few minutes. But not much further. What I want to know is, what are all the other people doing? So, we've 24 people watching at the minute. Okay? But we only have 8 people participating in the chat. Well, actually, we've 7. Because all the Gear No Idea is still coming up there too. There's an awful lot of silent observers here. Anyway, having said that, Joe King asks, why a red line beside my comment? I don't see it. It must be just on your screen. I'm also, when I'm live like this, I also watch with my personal channel to see if anything odd is happening and to see that I'm getting out okay. And I don't see any line beside any of your comments, so I don't know why. Maybe a connection issue or something. Not sure, but would make sense. Yeah, where am I? It didn't post. Well, there you go. Kiltop Brackley, we have a dirty farmer from the county of Cavan watching us. Good evening, sir. We hope you are keeping well. It may be that there are too many letters. It happened to me before. So if you write a really long comment, it'll knock it out. But it does tell you, I think 200 is your 200 characters and spaces is your limit. So you can't write an essay in the live chat. Oh yeah, and I know well that there's an awful lot of stuff, the comments that don't get through. And there was a few younger viewers here that were sort of popping in a while ago that were very impatient and upset with me because they thought I wasn't reading out their messages, or I don't know. They actually sent me, one of them sent me quite a nasty email, you know. But there's 2 things. One, I don't see every comment anyway, especially if there's a lot of people commenting. And 2, sometimes not every comment will get through. So, you know, some of these young fellas have no patience. Yeah, so one chap there a few weeks ago got very nasty indeed, which was a bit strange. But this was a conversation I was having with George Donaldson earlier on. Of course, George is a YouTuber, but he's at YouTube a lot longer than I am. As I said to George, I've no time for that. And if people want to get nasty or whatever with me, I will just press the go away button, and they'll never be seen on the channel again. Because I won't put up with that nonsense. I wouldn't expect. I wouldn't go into someone's living room and have a shit on their carpet. So I expect when people come into my YouTube world to have a bit of manners at least. And I must say, 99.9% I have had absolutely zero issue over the years. Bar 1 or 2. And it has been just 1 or 2 out of thousands. So overall, it's a very good platform. Simon Hanlon is listening to me whilst fixing an old turntable. Whereabouts are you based, Simon? As Brownie quite correctly states, bear in mind, lads, we don't see all the comments. That is a fact. It was about a commemorative AM broadcast next year. Well, we want to hear more about that, Joe. Definitely. But if it is okay for this information to be in the public domain now, if you can send it to me in an email, I will copy and link it in a community post, so people can see it there. To celebrate 100 years since Marconi got a licence in Ireland. Very good. Near Bath. Very good. A GL75 Lenko. Oh, nice machine. Okay, will do. Yeah, do that, and then I'll do it tomorrow if I get a chance. I'll stick it in a community post. Okay. I just love the TV workshop. Reminds me of the day. Excellent. Thanks very much. Well, it's good to hear. Okay, I have a couple of questions for you, Joe. If you can answer, and if you can't answer, just ignore me, because we do know that some of this stuff is commercially sensitive, and everyone here is grown up and understands these things. What sort of a transmitter are they going to use, and what sort of power? I am very, very pleased to hear that something like this is happening. Very pleased indeed. I would hope that at some stage in Ireland we will have a situation like they have in Holland. And I've discussed this before. 100 watt solid state. Okay. Where in Holland there's low power licenses now, so you can apply for a 1 watt license on medium wave. And also would like to see a situation where, Comreg or whatever will give licenses under the same manner. Or maybe 1 or 2 stations with a bit more power could start up as well. Like what the chaps at Caroline have done on 648. And I must say, when I'm going to work in the morning, I can tune in 648 here in the morning, say 5:30 I leave here for work. And it comes in really strong. Simon Handon comments that his father sadly passed away last month, and he's been clearing his workshop and found his turntable in parts. I also have loads of shortwave magazines from the 50s and 60s if any of you will be interested. Roundy Mooney's comment is valid. Offer them on eBay. What I would say to you is you might have a hard time shifting them, because nearly all of those magazines have been scanned and are available on the American Radio History website for download for free. But some people like the paper copy, so I'd certainly offer them before minning them, but you may not have any interest, unfortunately. (1923) broadcast from Royal Marine Hotel to Horseshoe. At risk, licensed by the Postmaster General. August 1923. What? I just wonder what will the programming consist of for this broadcast. Horseshoe. Did we say horseshoe? Well, no. That's interesting. There's so much stuff. He was a hoarder. It's crazy. I can understand that, Simon. My friend passed away a year ago, next Sunday. and I've been helping his son clear out his house and what have you. And John was had a TV and radio shop, and that's where all this nonsense started when I was a kid. Well, anyway, I was helping his son clear out his house, and he's nearly at the end of it now. That we'll be putting the house up for sale, but it's been a long road, and it's amazing the amount of stuff that was in the house. Now, when you were in the house, you wouldn't have thought that there was that much stuff in it, but it was crazy, absolutely crazy. So I understand what you're heading into, and I sympathise with you greatly. Yeah, that's absolutely. I can maybe not the 21 VHS players or the 14 computers, but certainly more magazines and books than you could shake it. Unreal, tons of stuff. But himself and his late wife kept everything. They brought everything home from America when they moved here in 1970. And they kept it. Never looked at any of this stuff. The attic was totally full. How the ceiling didn't come in on top of them, we'll never know. Rowney Mooney makes a good point that the computers may be worth a few bob. Do get advice on those. The UK Vintage Radio Forum again wouldn't be a bad place. I'm sure there's dedicated computer forums as well. You'd be surprised what some VCRs are worth now at the minute, Roundy. I believe there's a bit of a resurgence and all that nonsense too. Yeah, well, I know, Jerry. I've certainly taken it to another level as well, alright. Most normal people don't realise how much they have. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, the other thing is, when you're faced with a clear out operation such as that, and you have enough to do when you're going through a whole grief situation as well, to be honest, often the best solution is just fuck it in the skip. Because you have enough to be at without getting into all that. SB comments that the sound is very harsh. I don't know. Anyone else give me a sound report there? Don't know what the crack is there with the sound. Norman Donnelly is watching me on the televisions. Kiltop Brackley's getting good sound. Noel Conway's getting good sound. Leslie Diamond. Simon Hannon. Alright, I don't know. Yeah. I know me setup isn't wonderful by any stretch of the imagination. And that's why I keep saying we're gonna have to get someone who knows what they're talking about in here and give me a little bit of advice. I wonder is Audio Al watching just as a matter of interest. Although if Audio Al was watching, he usually throws his hat in the ring and says hello to everyone. So I think he understands a bit about that. I knew that John would be on the TV one day. Hope to your 405 I'd say. Absolutely, yeah. I like the sound of that setup, Mr. Mooney. That sounds good, alright. Yeah, and not to be giving away any ESB privileged information, but is the COVID, are they still in full work from home lockdown nonsense in the ESB? They probably are. You know, I suppose I could be saying as slightly veering into politics a little bit with this, which I don't mean to, and we'll swiftly move on. But this Elon Musk character taking over Twitter. Now, I don't have Twitter. I don't use Twitter. Twitter means nothing to me. But I do think he has a point with sort of making these people like go to work to earn money. His methods and all, I wouldn't agree with though. But there's an awful lot of people working from home that don't do anything. And aren't doing anything and don't particularly want to do anything except get paid. And that's going to be an issue going down the road. Went flexible a year ago, did it finally kickstart a change of sorts? Yeah, we can do both now, but I manage a team and need to be present most days. Very good. Yes, interesting stuff. No fan of Musk, but the amount of entitled in the tech sector is unreal. He is cleaning house to a degree, whatever his motives. And it won't go down well, but it needs to happen. Well, I think the tech sector in general is in for the big kick in the bollocks. Because they got all these people, when all the software engineers have wrote all the software that they need, all this AI nonsense that will, automatically moderate Twitter and Facebook and all this nonsense. Then what's left for these people to do? Well, nothing. All these people are going to be replaced by a big, huge black box that does everything. They don't seem to see it. Now, I'm sort of involved in the tech sector myself. The job that I do, the only difference is that when I look out the window of the place I work, I see a truck going away with all the crap that we've made. So there's a tangible product. But these 100% online IT nonsense places, where they don't make anything tangible. There's no product. It's just nonsense. And it's like if I put a €50 note on the bench here, it's only worth what people will think it's worth. And it's the same with these makey-uppy online forum things. An awful lot of companies went nuts though during the pandemic with their employment, and an awful lot of places now are oversubscribed with personnel, and there's going to be a problem. Anyway, that's getting a bit political. Not interested in that here tonight. It's like an ad for tenants, isn't it? Yeah, the only thing I'd say, I think we're all on the same page. You know what I'm going to say in that round. When the music stops, I think the Doors had a song about that. We all like a power. There's 23 people watching. And I'm two of them. So there's 22 people, 21 people really watching. So, here's a question for you. Right. Remember the old tenants ad? The one I remember was where the points got murdered. Do you remember the 2 points are walking down the lane? And then they get a big hand comes down out of the sky. And then the empty glasses are there. And then, the other points come along. And there's a fella doing like a Taggart accent. And then there was a series of these advertisements. And then there was one where they dressed up the point in a can. And that was going to be his protective ornament, and he'd a little point, a little can, and he'd a little slot cut in the front, and little arms coming out with a baton. It's like, I'll get him, and then the big hand comes down and crushes the can and drops. The advertisements back in the 90s were absolutely excellent. Yeah, they were the days, alright. Probably boy when I was 14, I used to stand outside the off license waiting for someone. Hey, mister, will you go in and get 6 cans of tenants? Here's a fiver. Great days, didn't do us any harm. Gave us a bit of real life experience. I think a lot of these bedroom merchants are missing out on interactions. Right, so question time for all of you watching. I want full participation. Pick your ears, please. I want you to select a poll that I should run. It should be technically related in some description or other. But give me a few suggestions for a poll that I should run. Carlos Fandango was my favourite ad. There's a guy on YouTube that does 90s ads. Come on, lads, give us a suggestion for a poll. People who've got slow keyboards tonight, come on, lads, get typing. What was here? It's 24.7 degrees in here. I'm in here nearly the whole day, so it's nice and warm. Best factual TV program. That's a question, though. That's not a poll. It has to be a poll where I can give a couple of options. And there probably isn't any factual TV programs anymore. Should Ireland have a science museum? That was floated. A friend of mine who works in Trinity College said that was floated and it was knocked down straight away. They were going to deal with the science museum with the stuff, all the equipment that they have and everything, and some big way come down and said, no, dump it all, and a big load of 20-foot roll-on skips come down and took it all away. Noel Conway says, my lad works for the Marine Institute. He gathers and correlates the info on ocean temperature, currents, ecosystems right across the North Atlantic. He works 3 days from home and 2 days in. How many radios do you have? 1, 10 or 50? That's a spin the wheel, not a poll. Of over 50 radios, obviously, Mr. Adam. How many radios can I count from here? Like, you know what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That almost counts as a radio. 7. 8. There's more though. I'm sure there's more hiding. 9. Yeah, no. Any amount of radios. One of these adverts, Retro Steve UK. I'll have a look at him. Poem, milliamp and microhenry. I'm not sure what that means. Clarify that. How many working radios? Feck off, Jerry. Don't be asking questions like that. That's a. I don't know about that. Working. I'm sure one of them works. This one works. That one works. I have a working radio. Right, I'll have a go at coming up with a poll. I'm trying to think about what I'm going to make a poll about. I have amateur radio transceivers here, some 40 years old or more. What's my favourite radio? That's like asking me what my favourite television is, and that's kind of a fluid thing. It changes from time to time. Favourite radio. Bush. Favourite mark would be Bush. Definitely. Simple to work on, well laid out. It does what it says in the tin. So yeah, Bush. Favourite communications radio. Probably going to be Eddystone, if it's vintage. That's unbelievable. Blum Adams comment, do you see that, Roundy? How was that? YouTube's lost his mind. That's a leading question. I'm only a beginner. Less than 2 dozen. Roundy, we'll have to do something about that. Pocket radios can be the way forward if you need to get your head count up in a hurry. Eddystone is a great mate. Yeah, I have 3 740s, 3 750s. I have a AAA. Now, these aren't all in excellent condition, I can assure you. Some of them are kind of semi-write-offs. I have a 910, which is a very rare machine. Of 2 840Cs. And I have a 358X. How many Eddystones was that? That was over 10, was it? Jesus. No wonder I need another shed. Simon Hanlon has a 358X as well. They're a good machine, aren't they, Simon? Leslie Diamond says his favourite is his late father's radio. I can certainly understand that. I missed an Eddystone, and it probably is my favourite radio. By no means my best performing radio, but it's got to be the little EC10. And you know, funny enough, I haven't actually done any listening in a while. So, something I must start doing again. I haven't listened to any shortwave in well over a month. Probably 2. The little EC10, which fits nicely into this modified microscope box. Oh, yes. So, that's the 358. I like that. It's simple to use. It's not a communications receiver by any stretch of the imagination, but it works well enough. I wouldn't mind getting another one. What I would like to do is I would like to get a very rough condition 358 or EC10, should I say, that I could sort of mould it a bit, maybe, stabilise the local oscillator a bit better. Because it drifts like hell. Like it drifts about 15 kilocycles from warm up. Powell, what have you skipped or got rid of that you now regret? Again, that's not a Powell, Joe. That's a question. A Powell has to be a couple of questions, and then people pick which, or a couple of comments or points, and people pick which one options. But that is a good question. What have you skipped that you and got rid of that you now regret? I gave away a Marshall headlamp to a young fella years ago. Which turned out later to be worth quite a lot of money, indeed. And I should have known when I seen it because I had. This is going to give you an idea where this thing came from. And I found it in a skip. Genuine, no shit. Got this out of a skip. And I gave it to a young lad that was starting up a band. And it was a Marshall headamp. And usually Marshall gear has that black leatherette on it. This one was a bit unusual because it had purple leatherette on it. Just let you think about that for a minute. Anyway, I found out later that the young fella sold it and it ended up in Miami. And I went for a rather large sum of money. Not that it bothers me all that much, but you don't have, you don't miss. Young fella was starting out in life, I was happy enough from too, but yeah. So just let that one sink in. Purple leatherette Marshall headlamp. Simon Hanlon skipped an Italian copy of the Scramble arcade machine called Explorer once. It had a RAM fault and I had no idea how to fix it 25 years ago. Joe King, a question, I have infinite sorrow that I killed so much stuff as a kid that I'd love to have now that was worthless in the 80s. Yeah, well, I was there too. Now, here's your next man to put his hand up. Not so much got rid of something, but left a Memotech MTX 512 at a car boot, boxed with accessories. Yeah, I've done stuff like that where you see something and you think, sort of, you walk away and then you sort of go home and you think, hold on a minute, that was far more interesting than I actually, oh no, what have I done? Where are we now? Yeah, I'm sure I ripped apart some fucking valuable stuff back in the day too. We've all done it. But you live and learn. Exactly. That's quite right, Roundy. This stuff was, and here. No, I think it was something to do with Deep Purple, Mr. Adam. Yeah. Well, You live and learn. I won't let the next one go. I won't give the next one away. Yeah, well, what can you do? I remember the only thing that was wrong with it was one of the ECC 83s was gone to wear, and I even gave me one to go with it. Ah, well, whatever. It may well have done. Who was that? The volume all the way to 11. That was Spinal Tap, wasn't it? They said in the film, yeah. Man, like, we're just, we're louder than everyone else. Why is that? You see, our amps, like most amps go to 10, but ours like go to 11. That was great. We must watch that again, actually. Right, lads. I'm gonna say goodnight. I said I was gonna knock off at 10. I'm rolling on till 25 to 11, but it's time for me to say goodnight. And it's time for all you kids to go home, get into bed, get up early in the morning, go to work. So I'm gonna thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank you all for your support with the channel. You're all very good to me, I must say. Overall, YouTube has been a very good experience so far. There are one or two notable exceptions, but I must say you're all very good. Night from a freezing cold Beamish. Ooh, Beamish. Isn't there like a tramway museum or something in Beamish? Good night, Joe. Good night, Norman. Good night, Rowney. Good night, Brum. Good night, Kev. Good night, Simon. Good night, John Boy. Good night, lads. Thanks for tuning in. Good night, underscore. Night, Ma. Right, thanks, lads. We'll catch you in the next one.